Sudan is a nation of over 48 million people, rich in history, culture, and natural resources. Yet today, it is facing one of the worst humanitarian crises in the world, even though many people outside Africa barely understand what's going on. In this video, I'll break down the Sudan crisis in the simplest possible way. Who is fighting who, why the war started, what everyday people are going through, and why the world should care. This is the full story of Sudan's crisis, clearly explained. Sudan is currently stuck in a brutal internal war between two powerful military groups. The first is the Sudanese Armed Forces, known as the SAF, led by General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan. This group is Sudan's official national army. The second is the Rapid Support Forces, known as the RSF, led by General Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo, also known as Hemeti. The RSF originally came from militia groups that operated during the Darfur conflict. These two forces were once allies, but now they are at war with each other, and Sudan, especially the capital, Khartoum, has become the battleground. To understand why these two groups became enemies, we need to go back a few years. In 2019, Sudan's longtime ruler, Omar al-Bashir, was removed from power after massive public protests. This moment brought hope for a new democratic future. A transitional government was formed, made up of both civilian and military leaders. But the partnership between SAF and RSF was unstable from the beginning. Both military leaders, Burhan and Hemeti, wanted influence. They controlled soldiers, weapons, money, and territory. The biggest disagreement came when Sudan began planning a new national army. The question was, should the RSF be merged into the official Sudanese army? SAF wanted the RSF to join quickly under their command. RSF wanted the process to take many years because rapid integration would weaken their power. Neither side trusted the other, and tensions grew. Then, on April 15, 2023, fighting broke out in Khartoum. This moment marked the beginning of the current war. Since then, the situation on the ground has been devastating. Khartoum, once a busy and thriving city, turned into a war zone. RSF forces took control of major streets, airports, residential neighborhoods, and strategic buildings. SAF responded with airstrikes, artillery, and ground attacks. The result was the collapse of normal life. Hospitals closed, markets were destroyed, electricity and water systems failed, and many families became trapped in their homes. Millions fled with nothing but the clothes they were wearing. Other regions have also suffered heavily, including Darfur, Omdurman, El Janina, and parts of Kordofan. Some areas have seen extreme violence, including killings, looting, and entire neighborhoods being burned. Today, Sudan faces a massive humanitarian crisis. Over 10 million people have been displaced, making it the largest displacement crisis in the world. Millions are without reliable access to food. Many families go days with almost nothing to eat. Hospitals are barely functioning, and some are operating without electricity, medication, or enough medical staff. Children are among the most vulnerable. Many are out of school, malnourished, or separated from their families. Large numbers of people have fled to neighboring countries, including Chad, Egypt, South Sudan, Ethiopia, and the Central African Republic. Even with all this suffering, the crisis does not always receive enough global attention, which is why it is often called a silent catastrophe. The war became this big for several reasons. First, both SAF and RSF are heavily armed, with strong equipment, vehicles, and in some cases, external support. Second, the capital city Khartoum became the main battleground, something that makes the conflict even more destructive. Third, foreign countries have their own political and economic interests in Sudan, especially in its gold and strategic location. These interests and indirectly fuel the conflict. Fourth, Sudan did not have a strong civilian government to balance military power. And fifth, in regions like Darfur, old ethnic tensions made the violence even worse. But why should the world care about Sudan's crisis? The reasons are serious. Sudan shares borders with 7 countries, and a major war in Sudan can destabilize the entire region. The displacement of millions of people creates a massive migration crisis for neighboring countries, and even Europe. Economically, Sudan has gold, fertile land, and important trade routes. Conflict disrupts all of this. Most importantly, millions of innocent people are suffering in a conflict they did not create. When the world ignores a crisis like this, the violence can worsen. Despite everything, there is still hope. The people of Sudan are incredibly resilient. Volunteers organize makeshift clinics. Communities share food and shelter. Many Sudanese youth use social media to raise awareness. International organizations are trying to deliver aid where possible. Peace in Sudan is still possible, but it will require attention, pressure for ceasefire, and strong support for humanitarian relief. Sudan's story is painful, complicated, and still unfolding, but understanding it is the first step towards helping. If you want more global explainers like this, subscribe to Global Connects for clear, unbiased stories from around the world. Thank you for watching, and please keep the people of Sudan in your thoughts.